going through the injuries last year. What did you take into this offseason? What did you flush? What did you throw away? And kind of how did you, rebuild preparing for the spring?
Honestly, just, it's kind of just standard operating procedure every, off season, just take care of the stuff that broke down and move on. And so last year is pretty easy for me to just, throw away, and move on from. So this year we kind of know what to expect and ready to go. Excited to be here. Excited to be able to play with these guys, some new faces. So I'm ready to have some fun.
Hey, Kris, I guess it was the second year in a row at least where the trade rumors were all over the place, and the team actually did make a handful of moves. Are you surprised that as many guys, including yourself, are back together again for one more shot this year?
I'm not surprised at all. I've had good conversations with Jedd. Just good communication, and he's let me know what's going on. I can ask him what's true, what's not true, and the main thing I got from him is that most of it is not true. So that's I wasn't surprised.
KB, along those lines, throughout the offseason, was it you reaching out to Jedd? Was he transparent in reaching out to you? How did that communication flow as rumors were happening?
He just reached out to me. Obviously I had dialogue with my camp, I guess that's the cool word to say, my camp. Just asking questions. But yeah, no, he's been really transparent with me and my side, and I've honestly really appreciated that. I've never had that type of I don't know, security or communication. So that was met very well, and I really appreciate that from him. And I let him know that, and we're great terms, great way to start off I guess our relationship in his new role.
Jedd talked about a couple of weeks ago that he would like to re-engage in contract extension negotiations with some of the guys that are on the team that are in their last season. For you and your camp, would that be something that you guys would be willing to entertain this spring?
Yeah, I guess I can kind of sound like a broken record. The past whatever amount of years it's been, I've always said I've been open and willing to hear whatever Jedd now has to say, and would take it and with open arms, and consider everything that is thrown my way. And I think I've communicated that well with them, so they know where I stand. They know what I think. So that's honestly, use whatever quotes I've said in the past, that still rings true today.
Kris, does it feel different to be in your free agent year? Do things feel different? Are you trying not to focus on it, knowing it could be your last year as a Cub?
No, not really. I guess I approach every year the same. I feel like every year is a free agent year, just personally, and how I approach the game, and how I approach my personal life, and how I approach just everything in general. I'm proud to say that I haven't changed much over the years that I've been in the big leagues, and honestly, my whole life this has been who I am. So I'm I don't want to put too much on myself, any more pressure. It's just every year's I want to go out there and dominate. That's just who I've always been, and that's what drives me.
Kris, even last year you guys were kind of coming into it knowing hey, this could be our last hurrah as a core, and you never know what's going to happen. What's it like to kind of get a second chance at the last hurrah?
Yeah, I mean, it seems like the talk every year is is this the last hurrah? Is this it? It is a broken record every single year. I really I don't know what to say. I mean, I just kind of go back on what I've said in the past and use that. I don't have anything else to add. We are a lot of really good friends here. Not just teammates, but really good friends and good people. And I just enjoy taking the field and being here alongside these guys every day. So never taken that for granted, and I won't start now.
Just follow up to that. Rizzo last year was talking about how, and this was before the shutdown and all that, how important a good start was going to be. He even said, I think, something like, or we know they're going to probably blow it up. And I wonder if there's that same kind of sense of, depending on what gets done in spring training with extension talks, if there's that same kind of sense of how important a good start is going to be in relation to the trade deadline.
Yeah. I think just every year it's important to get off to a good start. No need to make this any bigger than it is. Trade deadlines, guys last year, who cares? Every year is the same. We want to get off to a good start, enjoy wins, flush losses, and just go out there and play.
Kris, first of all, good to see you. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. How about you?
Good. And family good?
Absolutely. Having a blast.
That's great. What have you learned about yourself and then people in particular when you've dealt with injuries and you've dealt with not playing, and when you play with injuries and things don't go well, people get on your case. When you don't play, people get on your case. What have you learned about internalizing that, dealing with that, and handling that as a professional?
Yeah. I guess you kind of nailed it with that last word, just be professional. I mean, everybody's always going to think something, judge you a certain way, one way or another. Playing good, playing bad, not playing, playing hurt, not playing hurt. I mean, there's just so many scenarios where you can go through, and I mean, I don't know. I just whatever. I mean, that's just what it is. That's kind of where I'm at. It's just, you can't make everybody happy. And I wish I could. All that really matters is if I'm making the people around me happy, and I'm enjoying their company, and my family, my friends, my teammates that are friends. That's all that really matters to me right now. And hopefully go out there and win a lot of games and make everybody hopefully in the stands happy at some point. That'd be really cool. But yeah, just like I said, just really enjoy being around these guys. Some of my best friends, and that's how I'm approaching it.
When did you learn how to handle it that way? Because you always did seem like a guy that wanted to please everybody.
I guess I'm still trying to get to that point, but I don't know. I mean, it's nice having a kid at home to go to and just really enjoy their company, and and a wife that really cares about me, and parents and brothers-in-law and sister-in-law that honestly just look at me for, just who I am as a person. That's always refreshing to go home to. So, at the end of the day, like, we're playing baseball for, a very short amount of time when you kind of look at the length of your life, hopefully a very long life. So make the most of it while you're here. And like I keep saying, to make lifelong friends here that, you can talk to and tell stories about, the times that you spent here together and playing through pandemics and winning World Series and awards and all that, and just look back on it and really enjoy it. And that's a good feeling. I mean, but at the same time, it's not we're all competitive. We want to win. It's like, we really want to win. But I think we get the most out of ourselves when we're approaching in a different way, and we're not playing so tight and, stuff like that. So hopefully we can get back to that. Hopefully I can get back to that, and just, whatever happens this year happens.
Thank you. Good to see you.
Yep. You're welcome.
Kris, Russ mentioned how you were one of the first guys to volunteer to step into live BP a few days ago, and then that swing today. I understand it's just live BP, but what are you taking away from that, and how good did a swing like today feel?
Yeah, I was just, talking before I got in here. It's just nice to kind of, you step in the box, see some pitches, see what it's like again, hit one on the barrel, swing and miss one, it's just get all the feelings back, of just, and that's kind of what I've gotten so far in live BP. It's like, I swung at bad pitches, I've taken good pitches, I've hit one on the barrel, I've hit one, I got jammed, all of the above. And that's, you kind of just want to get all that out of the way right away. And I have done that today. And yeah, today I felt good. I'm going to call my dad and mom and tell them that I hit a homer, and it felt really cool today.
Kris, David Ross said that he felt like you were the best version of yourself last year, that final series against the White Sox. So after everything you went through last year, what kind of impact did that series have on your off season and kind of what you were able to do this off season?
I don't know. It had a big impact just on me, like ending the season on a high note and just taking some really good swings. Obviously in the playoffs too, I think against the Marlins, I hit some balls on on the barrel lineouts that felt good. And I kind of felt like, yeah, I was kind of, finding what I had been searching for last year. It's just kind of important for me to kind of look at historically what I do too, like the first 30, 40, 20 games, whatever it may be. And everybody's always telling you start slow. And I'm like, I don't really feel like I start slow all the time, but I mean, people are telling me that. So, and hitting coaches and agents are all telling me that. So, hey, I mean, I think if we played, I don't know, more games, maybe I would have figured it out. Who knows? But today felt cool, great, and off season's great, and just got to build off that. Have fun with my friends.
Kris, was that your first homer off Arrieta?
I don't. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, it doesn't count, does it? I mean, but in my mind, it felt great. I mean, but Jake looked really good out there today. Honestly, like, I'm happy to have him back in the Cubs uniform. It was weird seeing him in another pinstripe. But I'm sure he enjoyed his time in Philly, but it's really cool to see him back with the guys and, working with some of the younger guys and throwing his sinker and slider. And hopefully you can, perform well for us this year. It'd be really cool for the fans in Chicago to see him back, on our team.
Hey, Kris, I was wondering what your reaction was to the comments from the former Mariners CEO.
I mean, at first I was just like, I just said, wow. And then honestly, my only comment, I guess, on that was, I'm just surprised he said it. I mean, we kind of know that that's the standard operating procedure. Obviously, some of the other things he said were not okay in terms of, speaking of, the interpreter and stuff like that. But, and then you look at the baseball business side, I'm just surprised that he said it. That's all, because I know that that's what, obviously I've been through that before. That's what they think most of the time.
I guess as a whole, how do you look at the team's off season? They kept you down for this extra year, and then to see some of the cost cutting measures and then kind of a flurry of signings right before camp. What sort of off season?
I don't know. I mean, I honestly, like, I didn't pay much attention to it. I kind of followed our team and the trades and signings we made, but I don't know. I guess I don't have a great answer to that, because like I said, I let Ian take over the Players Association dues, and I was focused on other things. Not saying I'm not in the loop, but I just obviously didn't take it right to heart. But yeah, there are some concerns that are going to be addressed very shortly, and some comments that were made that probably MLB did not want to be made or out, and there's going to be a battle, but hopefully certain things will change, and but I mean, at the end of the day, I mean, who knows? We're here to play this season, and you got to focus on this. But I know you guys have to ask those questions for sure.
Hey, Kris, I know you said you're open to an extension. You've said often. Do you know if Scott has specific plans to talk to Jedd like this March? Because this is kind of when it would happen more than likely than, mid-season.
No, I don't know. He doesn't make those decisions. Obviously, Jedd's going to make those decisions, and I'm sure I'll have a meeting with Jedd. I love talking to Jedd. I mean, he's, like I said, our relationship for the very get-go in his new role has been, I mean, I've been very impressed with just his communication and openness and honesty. So that's honest all you want from a person kind of making the decisions for you. So like I said, I really respect Jedd and kind of what he's been doing.
Hey, Kris, when you see the offseason moves, when you see the Padres, the Dodgers, the Mets, and where you were with this franchise, is it a little upsetting not to see the Cubs kind of with those teams doing that now?
Upsetting, I don't know. I don't think that's the right word. I mean, you look at the Dodgers, and yeah, they got lots of money over there, and they just won a World Series too, so they're doing fine. Padres, pretty cool to see a team like the Padres step up and make big signings and trades, and very exciting time for their fan base. They got some really good players, but there was a point where this team was doing that too, and I'm sure it will happen in the future. I don't know why. I'm not privy to those conversations or any of that. I don't know what the direction or what they want to do. I'm just show up and play and do what I do here, but I'll let that stuff take care of itself.
Kris, a kind of a random question. I'm curious how much the tech used in training has changed since your rookie year, and what kind of stuff you were into using in training.
Yeah, it's kind of gotten crazy. I mean, there's a lot of tools out there, and it's kind of, you have to find the right tools that work for you. For me, I got a hit track system in my batting cage at home. It has some video on it, but I like the numbers, but I don't like to dive too deep into them, because then it's just a nonstop competition with yourself, trying to just, hit the ball harder, hit the ball at the right angle all the time. And then, maybe you're hurting yourself when you think you're actually helping. So for me, I use it as just a tool to, like, I'm hitting the cage. I just like to use it to double check kind of what I actually felt in the swing and what actually happened with the ball and where it went, stuff like that. So, and I think as hitters, we can use those tools, but I think those tools are really made for pitchers, because, they can take full advantage of that stuff. Whereas we have a variable in a baseball moving that we don't get to control. So, I like them, but I don't like to dive too far into them.
Your thoughts when Darvish was traded? I know you got a very good pitcher back in Zach Davies, who should help you guys a lot, but what were your first thoughts when Darvish was traded?
I don't know. I guess I was kind of surprised, kind of sad to see him go, because he was really, coming to his own here and feeling comfortable and, starting to goof around and talk with all of us. And, that was really cool to see from you. And then Victor Caratini too, one of the most underrated, bats players in the game. I think he's gonna do great things over there. But yeah, I guess, just sad to see him go. Grateful for the time that we spent and able to have, really good times with them and see them grow. And, hopefully they keep doing it over there and root for them.
Do we have anything else for KB?
Yeah, Kris, do you think Jedd needs to keep you apprised of if anything's going on, or do you feel like, it's really not just a person of your stature now in the organization, or would you rather not even know?
I mean, I guess I guess I'll tell you what happened this offseason. I guess there was something that came out saying I'm going to get traded in 48 hours. And obviously that was completely wrong.
Mets one?
What's that?
The New York Mets one or something else?
Yeah. So I got a text like that weekend, welcome to the Mets. So I'm like, oh, well, what? It was a Connecticut number. I don't have no clue who it was. So then I obviously called my agent, and he calls them and he said, there's nothing going on. So you just, that's the kind of stuff that I feel like is nice to know when there's something that's completely false. And, because at the end of the day, we are all human. And sometimes that when you get a text that says something like that, it's like, that might kind of mess with me a little bit. But like I said, I mean, I've been answering these questions for 3 years now. So if there's, I guess maybe I've added more content for you guys, but go back to all the other stuff I said in the past and you can go ahead and write all that. But, I think I'm in a really good place in terms of dealing with that stuff now. And there's really nothing, else for me to say about any of that.
Kris, just to follow up on that, something that Harper mentioned at the time when he signed was that he was relieved that he wouldn't have to be answering questions about his future and where he'd be playing. Do you look forward to that in terms of, like, regardless of whatever happens in the coming months, that this is not something that's going to be on your plate anymore in terms of asking about what your future entails?
Yeah, I guess that I could look forward to it, but I feel like now I'm kind of just like really coming into my own and figuring out how to deal with that stuff. So it's like, if it keeps happening, I'm fine with it, because it really doesn't bother me much anymore, because it's just nice to know when there's all these reports and stuff out there that say one thing and then you actually hear it from the actual person that has the ability to trade you, that none of it's true and there's been no substantial anything going on, it's like, okay, so like it's going to be hard for me to believe anything out there from now on, because, you know, I understand a lot of people like to talk and just throw stuff out there, but, you know, Jedd telling me that, oh, it's not true, really makes me feel good. And I'm here to help the Cubs win and do what I've been doing here for, you know, the last 6 years.
Kris, now that you have maybe not getting used to parenthood, but you've been a dad for a little longer now, as we talk about all of these things, and even just as you dealt with everything last year, I'm curious just how he's kind of changed your perspective almost on life. Because I know we talked to you about it last year and you thought you were like put on this earth to be a dad, but now you've had time to really kind of do that. So what it's been like?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, like it's the greatest thing I can ever like experience. It's so much fun just to see them change and like do new things. And like, it's just like, it's like I come to the field way more relaxed and just open for anything and open for what the day has in store for me. And rather than just, there is a sense of thinking about baseball when I go home, but it's not like consuming me, which is a really cool feeling. It's really hard to describe because I'm constantly chasing this kid around the house and doing anything I can to make him laugh and smile. And at the end of the day, when I'm done playing baseball, that's really all that matters to me. So I think if I continue with that perspective and approach, and my wife kind of with that same perspective, and just my whole family, like it just makes me better off, a better person, and hopefully a better baseball player along the way too.
Anything else?
Kris, we were talking to Jason Hayward yesterday about, you know, outside projections and how some don't have the Cubs winning the division, and his reaction was, I love that. Preseason picks don't mean anything. And I don't know how much that stuff concerns you, but as a whole for this season, like what do you guys think the Cubs can do? And you guys still have a lot of talent here, obviously.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Just honestly, like I like the fact that we do have some new faces to kind of keep it fresh. And, you know, we got guys that were in our division too. So they obviously have approaches off of us, and, you know, Trevor Williams with the Pirates and Zach with the Brewers and Jock from the Dodgers. You know, there's just a lot of fresh new opinions and advice. So like that, I think obviously we're all going to take advantage of that. But yeah, I think we do have a great team. I mean, speaking with Jedd too, like I keep saying, we had a great conversation, but he's like, we're here to compete. We're going to do great things. And, you know, when you have the guy in charge, yeah, you know, he could just be saying that, but I truly believe that, you know, we're here to win. We're here to compete. You know, and that's just the culture of the Chicago Cubs now. You know, before 2015, it was kind of just like, you know, hopeful. And now it's like expected, which is honestly, as a baseball player, that's kind of what you want to play for.